Thank you everyone for joining. This is the artist informational session for the request for qualifications for the Larry B. Green Memorial at Simon Mention Park. My name is Allison Killen. I'm a senior project manager here at Houston Arts Alliance in the Civic Art Division. I'll be working on managing this project. And then on this info session, we also have Grace Zuniga, the Director of Civic Art and Design, or just Civic Art. Grace, do you want to say?
Hello, everyone. I didn't realize everybody was on the Zoom call when I was talking to Allison, so sorry about that. Thank you all for being here this evening. Yep, you're in good hands with Allison.
Thank you. And then we also have Chelsea Benoit. She is our finance and collections manager at Houston Arts Alliance, and she'll be helping me out in the chat. And so, Chelsea,
everybody.
we're hanging out together in the same room. Okay, so today I'm going to walk you all through a little bit about this project. We'll go over just project details, project overview, and then some of the project requirements, submission requirements, and at the end we'll have some time for questions. And so I will ask that you hold your questions until the end or drop them in the chat, and Chelsea will help me out. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. And so a little bit about Houston Arts Alliance. We are a local nonprofit whose principal work is to implement the City of Houston's vision, values, and goals for its arts grant-making and civic art investments. We also execute privately funded programs and projects to meet the needs of the arts community, such as disaster preparation and research on the state of the arts in Houston. In short, HAA helps artists and nonprofits be bold, productive, and strong. Our client for this project is the South Coast Oak Redevelopment Authority, otherwise known as TERS 9. The South Coast Oak Redevelopment Authority was created to act on behalf of the City of Houston to support redevelopment plans and infrastructure improvements within the zone. TERS 9 encompasses approximately 1,775 acres, and it's situated in the Five Corners District, which is just south of the Texas Medical Center and bordered by Highway Alt 90 and Beltway 8 and Almeida Road, just on the south side of town. And if you need any more information, we have the link to their City of Houston website, and that's also linked in the RFQ. I think we have a couple people in the waiting room. Go ahead and send them. Oh, okay. Gonna let a few more people in here. Okay. So about this project, the project budget is $190,500. The deadline for submissions to the RFQ is Tuesday, July 1st at 6:00 p.m. Late submissions will not be accepted, so please make sure to get your submissions in on time. The submission platform is submittable, and we ask that all submissions are included there. If you email, fax, text it to us, we're not going to be able to consider it.
If y'all have your mics unmuted, do y'all mind muting them? Thank y'all.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsea. The location for this project is at Simon Mention Park, which is located at 4900 West Fuqua Street, Houston. And then the artwork location you can see here on this little aerial shot is just right in the front of the park. There's a pathway next to it, right in front of the playground. We'll ask that you keep that in mind, but you don't have to consider it too closely for this part of the project. We just want to see your submissions for qualifications. And eligibility for this project is open to all Houston area artists and artist teams over the age of 18. So a little bit more about this project. We did have the opportunity to meet with people who had worked with and were close to Councilmember Larry B. Green to gather just a little bit more information about this project before we wrote this RFQ. And so we are requesting the submission of qualifications for artists and artist teams to design, fabricate, and install a large-scale outdoor sculpture or installation honoring the former Houston City Council member located at this park, which is in District K, which was the district that he represented. Larry B. Green was raised in the Hiram Clark community, which is in District K, and he served as the first council member representing this district. He started his term in 2012 and he was succeeded by current council member Martha Castex Tatum, who was elected to that position in 2018. One of the things that the people we met with shared with us is that he had this lasting legacy of growth, prosperity, and green spaces throughout the district. He brought nearly $2 billion of economic development projects into the district, including infrastructure improvements, a new HPD station, a senior citizen center, and he championed a lot of small businesses throughout the district, which are still there, operating and running to this day. He was really described as a friend, an advocate, a charismatic, fun, and robust presence. He was extremely dedicated to serving his community, and we really are envisioning this memorial as an uplifting, celebratory artwork that pays homage to his life and service to this community. Requirements for this artwork are that it is free of safety hazards, it must meet or exceed the City of Houston ADA requirements, it must have an expected lifespan of at least 20 years. It must be family friendly, suitable for public display to a diverse and international audience. And it should be resistant to graffiti and vandalism and require minimal maintenance. So we ask that you keep these in mind as we're moving throughout this process. I will ask that y'all all put your mics on mute if you can, and we'll take questions at the end. So for eligibility, this opportunity is open to all Houston area artists and artist teams over 18. The Houston area is defined as the 9-county region that surrounds the city of Houston. And so Austin, Brazoria, Chambers, Fort Bend, Galveston, Harris, Liberty, Montgomery, or Waller counties. We ask that artists and artist teams are able to work at the required scale and have the ability to accomplish this project by May 2026. And so timeline subject to change, but that is our deadline we're targeting right now. For any galleries that are interested in applying on behalf of artists, we ask that you submit one application per artist. If you're submitting an application with multiple artists included, it will be marked as ineligible. The following people are not eligible to apply, and that applies to City of Houston or South Post Oak Redevelopment Authority employees, elected city officials, TERS 9 board members and their immediate family, any Houston Arts Alliance employees, board members, advisory board members, and their immediate families, and any applications that are submitted that do not meet the eligibility criteria or requirements will be withdrawn from consideration. And so what do you need to apply for this? We ask that you please submit an artist resume and no more than 3 pages per artist in your team. So if you have a team of artists, 1 resume per artist. And then we are allowing video and audio recorded submissions for this project. We ask that you submit either a written or a recorded statement for submission, not both. And so keep that in mind as you're preparing your application materials. For the artist biography, please keep it to a maximum of 250 words or under 2 minutes. For your statement of intent, it can be 1,000-word maximum or under 5 minutes. And the statement of intent is really the opportunity to tell us about your plans and ideas for the project. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your qualifications, why you're excited to apply for this opportunity. It's a little bit different from your artist statement. The artist statement can be a maximum of 500 words, and we ask that you keep it under 3 minutes in length if it's recorded. Your artist statement is just a description of your body of work and helps the audience and the panel understand your artistic work, your practice, present ideas to the viewer, and it might include sources, ideas, and materials that you use and involve in your practice. Lastly, we ask for up to 10 images. We ask that they're a JPEG format and include information about the title, the year, dimensions, material, commissioning entity, client, and your budget or price for each of the images of your past artworks that you include in your submission. On the right here is a link that will take you directly to the submittable page for this RFQ. And so feel free to scan it. It'll also be on our website, and all applications do need to be submitted through that submittable platform. You will have to create an account, and then again, just make sure that you're submitting on submittable. Anything that's emailed to us or submitted any other way won't be considered. For the selection process for this project, we will be working with a panel of arts professionals and TERS 9 stakeholders who will be reviewing the submissions on the following evaluation statements. And so those are: the artist submission demonstrates their ability to effectively engage with communities and or involve the community in the project in a meaningful way. The artist submission demonstrates their ability to create site-specific artwork, which responds to the creativity, legacy, and spirit of Councilmember Larry V. Green. And the artist's work demonstrates an artistic voice, perspective, or aesthetic that is appropriate for this location and project. So keep those in mind as you're submitting and preparing your materials for the submission. Lastly, maybe not, but for contracting, all artists who move on to become semifinalists and then the final selected artist will be placed under contract with HAA for the completion of first a design proposal and then secondly a contract for final design, fabrication, and installation services. You'll be able to find samples of those contracts at these links and then again on our website. We also ask that the selected finalists will be required to sign a VARA waiver with the South Coast Oak Management District. We have included a link to the sample of that waiver as well on our website. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them in. So important timeline. We have 2 artist info sessions. The first one you're in right now. The next one will be on June 11th at 10:30 a.m. So if you have a friend who wasn't able to make it today, make sure you flag that date for them. The submission deadline for this project is Tuesday, July 1st at 6:00 p.m. No later. We won't accept any late applications. And so make sure that you add that to your calendars and be sure to get your submissions in before then. I strongly recommend not waiting until the last minute. You know, there's always like a technology issue, a glitch, things take longer than you think to upload. So please keep that in mind. We do hope to notify RFQ artists by the week of July 14th. And upon that date, we will be releasing the RFP to artists who will move on to semifinalists. If you are a selected semifinalist, the deadline is the week of August 18th. We're still firming that up. Timeline is subject to change. And then we'll have artists do proposal presentations the week of September 1st, with notifying the selected artist by September 5th. And again, project completion is estimated to be May 2026. Okay, some FAQs. I'll point you to the link on the right, this QR code. It has a full length of common questions that we get directly on our website. So please go ahead and click on that. If you have any main questions, go ahead and email us too. There will be another link at the end of where you can send any additional questions. But what is an RFQ? An RFQ is a request for qualifications. It's the first step of a 2-phased artist selection process to determine awardees for a commissioned project. The RFQ only requires artists or artist teams to provide images and information on prior works. So it's not a proposal or an idea submission for the project. It's just showcasing your qualifications, your statement of intent, giving our panelists a bit of information about who you are, what your work is like, and why you would be appropriate for this project. From there, what is an RFP? An RFP is a request for proposals. An RFP is the second phase of a 2-phase artist selection process, which determines awardees for the commission project. So semifinalists will be chosen by the panel to submit to the RFP based on their qualifications evaluated in the RFQ stage. The RFP application requires artists to provide all necessary and pertinent information regarding the project they're proposing to the panel. So that includes budget breakdowns, rendering material samples, and any other information pertaining to the proposal of their final project. And lastly, a 3-dimensional artwork. It's classified as a piece of work that is freestanding in the round and complies with ADA guidelines. And so a little bit about that process and what we're looking for. And so finally, if you do have questions that we don't get to answer today or something comes up during the process, please go ahead and email them to us. That's the best way for us to make sure we're getting all of your questions Chelsea, would you mind putting that link in the chat, that email?
Sure.
Close out on this one.
Oh, okay. Oh gosh, okay. Okay, so here's the link and Chelsea's gonna drop that in the chat for us. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and send them there. And then if you follow this QR code on the left, it will link you to our website directly to the RFQ opportunity. And we also urge you to take the time to follow us on social media, sign up for our website, our newsletter, so that you're informed of any upcoming opportunities. And with that, we have a little bit of time for questions. So I'm going to go ahead and stop screen sharing, and anyone who has any questions that we'd like to discuss, go ahead and let me know. Okay. Is there anything in the chat? I will be sending the presentation deck.
Just trying to see.
Yeah, do we have a question, Mr. George?
Yeah, I was asking, do you want us to put our questions in the chat or do you want us to speak up?
However you'd like.
I just got in, so I don't know how much I missed. Did you already do the intro?
We did. This information session will be recorded and we'll post it to our website. And then we also have another one coming up on the 11th at 10:30. Thank you.
I have one question. We have two questions. All our team members need to live in the Houston area.
Yes, for this project, all artist team members do need to be living and working in the Houston area. And we will be posting the information deck online.
Excuse me. You had an overhead view of the park. Is that where the sculpture is to go, or is it to go someplace else at the park?
Yes, it will be located at the park. I'll pull up that overhead view again so you can all take a look. Okay, yes, so right here is that proposed artwork location that we'll be considering.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed a little green arrow with artist location. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, kind of right here.
What are the design/structural requirements?
We'll have more information on that during the RFP phase, but it does need to
Sculpture, installation.
Yeah, so something sculptural, three-dimensional. There are not, I think we'll have more information on that in the RFP phase. There are certain depth requirements, but I don't have the exact specifics at this time.
So, ma'am, I just have a question just to make sure I'm understanding correctly. You can hear me, by the way, correct?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
For this, it's a sculpture that has to be built, correct?
Yes, this opportunity is seeking artworks that are commissioned and site specific, and so nothing that's already existing to be like purchased and placed as an example.
Okay, and so not just mural art, but along with sculpture art, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, something three-dimensional, freestanding.
Okay, just want to get clarification on that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I have a question. Hi.
It'll be online. Yeah. Yes.
When will you get like the technical requirements if my sculpture required some lighting or power or maybe even water, like all of those technicals, like details, when will that be available?
Yeah, all of those technical details will be available to the semifinalists when they advance to the RFP phase. And so they'll help inform proposals that the semifinalists were putting together.
Okay, thank you.
I got a little confused by what the other guy was asking. Hello?
Yes, what's your question?
When the other guy was asking about clarity on if it would be three-dimensional or if it would be a mural as well. It sounded like you were saying that it would be both. Is it just a three-dimensional piece or is it going to be mural art as well?
No, correct. This is just a three-dimensional piece.
Okay.
Okay, are there any other questions?
I do have one more. So I work with I have a workshop on Louisiana, and I have people that they're artists in Louisiana. Could I bring them on my team?
We are asking that all of the artists and artist teams are based here in Houston. And so unfortunately, we would ask that you do work with local collaborators.
Okay. Even if my shop is over there, like just find a way to get it into Houston, or like that's kind of a gray area, at least for me, because I'm based in Houston. My operations is here, but the access to all the big tools that I can get is in Louisiana. Will that be an issue once I apply for it?
If they're considered part of your artist team, they would need to be in Houston. As far as subcontractors go, if it works in your budget for any transportation, shipping, delivery, I don't know, Grace, do you have any advising on fabricators out of town?
So typically when we are, when artists are applying, when artists are applying with artist teams who are maybe outside of the 9 counties that make up Greater Houston area, we ask that the artist who is applying is a resident of Houston. I would say that if you're working with fabricators and anyone outside of the states, as Allison mentioned, that as long as the budget supports that work, supports transportation, supports and you are the artist and you're just kind of like working with fabricators in another location, we can definitely look at that and see and follow up with you with like a very firm answer of that. But typically we ask that the artists who are applying are residents of Houston or Greater Houston area.
Thank you.
Thank you. I had one more question, and regarding the application. So with the application as a group, does each and every individual have to do their own application, or as a group, can we actually do one application, but highlighting each individual's work?
If you're applying as a group for this project, we ask that you do submit a team submission. And so that would be including artist CV information about each of the artists composing the group. And then I would suggest submitting examples of work that showcase your talents individually or together if you'd completed projects together as a team. But we do ask group submissions are submitted together instead of separately so that our panelists know who would be working together on that artist team.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hello? I got a question.
Yes.
Can I bring a model of my whole idea?
At this stage, we are only requesting submissions for qualifications that showcase examples of past work that you've completed. And so a model of any proposed ideas or examples of what you'd like to do for this project will be accepted at the request for proposal stage if you advance as a semifinalist.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Just a really nice message. Thank you to everyone at HAA for bringing these opportunities to area artists. This memorial will inspire many generations in District K. That was from Brad Barber. Thank you so much. That was so nice. So
I had a question.
Yes. Thank you, Chelsea.
I wanted to ask about, in terms of what you're seeking, are you seeking for artists to do something to represent in a sense, the legacy of Larry Green, what he stood for, his philosophy, or are you more concentrated on the piece representing the neighborhood, community? Or can you answer that? Is that okay?
That's a great question. I think that Larry Green was so involved in the community. I think we envision this artwork as kind of representing the combination of both, right? He was really from that community and represented that community in the city. And so I think that work is tied so closely together that ideally this artwork would represent both of those values. But the district is also interested in artist interpretations of the life and legacy of Larry Green. And so if that's interpreted in a variety of ways, I think they're open to seeing how that manifests for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
how many artists/artist teams will be accepted after the RFP?
I think 3 artists will move on as semifinalists, and then ultimately only 1 artist will be selected as the finalist for this project.
And just to clarify just a bit, 1 artist or artist team. So if a team applies and there's 3 of you, then obviously the team would be awarded the opportunity.
Thank you for that clarification, Grace.
What are the dimension requirements?
I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Can you repeat the question?
What are the dimension requirements?
Dimension requirements, they vary. It's however you feel to represent the artwork. We'll have more information about location, dimension specifics at the RFP stage. There are some considerations for landscaping, drainage that might affect the site, but we'll have more information about those for those who advance to the semifinalist stage.
Okay, so we have Brad. Brad asked, if selected to submit an RFP, will there be any possibility to speak with anyone who knew Councilmember Green?
That's a great question. I think it depends on availability of the stakeholders who are involved in this project and how it aligns with the RFP scheduling. But I will say that the finalists selected will be asked to do a significant research effort and community engagement effort with those who work close with Councilmember Green to make sure that the artwork is representative of kind of those values and things like that. And so that is a significant note. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, that yes, those selected for this project will need to do some engagement for this project.
Does this need to be something children can climb on and interact with?
That's a great question. It doesn't necessarily need to be like playground-esque, if you will, but definitely with the consideration that this is a public space, it is near a public playground, and so you know, the public is going to do what they're going to do and interact with the artwork in a variety of ways. And so definitely something that's family friendly, that's approachable, You know, we don't want anyone getting hurt. So definitely something, it doesn't have to be specifically interactive art, but something, you know, keeping in mind that it is outside, available to park visitors. And so, yeah.
For those selected for RFP, is there only a month for proposals?
At this time, yes, it is a short timeline. We are hoping to get through artist selection somewhat quickly, but we'll have more information on any timeline updates as they come. So we'll let you know as we move through this process if anything changes. How are we feeling? Any other questions? Feel free to drop them in the chat if you don't want to come off of mute. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to do a last call. Any other questions? I'm going to put up our links page again, just so you all have a chance to take a look at those QR codes. Oh gosh. Ah. Let me try this again. Second.
I think it's everything for me. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Again, take a look at our website for any opportunities, sign up for our newsletters to stay in touch. And we will post this recording on our website as well. So be sure to capture that link and take a look back in a couple of days to access this again if you need, and join us on the 11th at 10:30 if you're able to, for any other information that you might have missed today. Thank you all.